What do you mother cluckers know about Mort the Chicken?
This game came out in the year 2000, developed by And Now Studios. Never heard of them? Well, that's probably because they only made one other game, Tiny Tank, which I never actually heard of until today, and that's it.
I'm serious? I couldn't really find anything about this company. It just looks like they only released those 2 games and nothing else.
There is this list of games I found that they worked on, but only Mort the Chicken and Tiny Tank was actually released. The other games were cancelled. Which is a shame, really, because this Chokin game looks pretty interesting. Hell, Small Ball Baseball doesn't even have anything on it. From what little I could gather, And Now was created by Ed Annualziata and Gary Blau. I'm sorry if I mispronounced any of that. Both guys coming from Sega, and apparently had offices in the US, Russia, and Budapest. Or Hungary, since Budapest is the capital. I don't know why they have it written like this. And also, I don't know how accurate that is, because I only found that in mobygames.com. I guess it is possible that they would have offices there. It just seems weird that they picked those 2 other areas. Maybe Putin was just a big fan of Tiny Tanks, I don't know. And this website link doesn't really work, it just goes to this domain for sale page. Wow, I'm so surprised that a game developer that didn't release anything for the past 24 years and has little to no information on it would have a non-functioning website. Using the Wayback Machine, it looks like this website was pretty bare bones, and it goes as far back as December of the year 1998, so I'm gonna go ahead and assume that the company was founded around then. Yeah, I'm sorry, what the hell is this? Baby Boom? Click here to get a sneak preview of our new puzzle game. Email us at babies@endnow.com. But hey, at least the high scores are back. Except that the site it's gone.
Which might be for the best.
Okay, so the website's gone, and I didn't know anything about this game until I found it on this website. So I can only really guess what this game was. I was going to guess it was like a Bomberman clone, but it says it was a puzzle with a high score. So I'm going to go ahead and guess it wasn't good. There's actually a part in the Wayback where I can gather some more information on Small Ball Baseball. And I can actually click on the link to let me download the exe file. But I strongly do not recommend anyone doing that, because for one, I don't know if this game is still up, and old software like this that uses online connections and hasn't possibly been worked on officially since then, it's a pretty good way to get your computer hacked. But from the looks of it, you make a virtual baseball team and then go up against each other's teams. I don't really know if you can even control them, because this post by Ed states that you train them like virtual pets. Which honestly does sound pretty interesting, but again, I don't know if it's still running as of this day. But that's really it for the website. It looks like it stopped updating itself after 2002, considering I'm in 2007 currently, and the copyright only goes as far as 2002. And then it jumps about 6 years before it just stops working. And then the Wayback Machine apparently took offense to it because it just started freaking the fuck out. The only other bits of information I could gather were about Ed and Gary. Gary was probably the easiest to get information on because from what I could gather, he was only credited as the general manager for 2 games, voicing in 1 game, and getting a thanks in 1 other one. Ed has a much bigger portfolio, being the creator of Echo the Dolphin's design, and was also involved in a lot of Sega Genesis games. With what looks like the last actual game he created was Mort the Chicken. Everything else after that looks like it's just a smaller indie game, like Mile High Pinball 3D for the N-Gage, because everybody remembers the N-Gage.
I still have nightmares about it. Anyway, so on my channel I had a poll about what game you guys would like to see me review next, with PS1 winning the majority of the votes. So with that, we're finally going to talk about the PS1 game today, Mort the Chicken.
But what is Mort the Chicken, I hear you ask? Probably tired of hearing me just talk about other stuff? Well, let's just check the Mort the Chicken wiki. Story, Mort. Gameplay, Mort. And gallery, Mort.
Okay, let's just play the game and see.
I'm Chicken Little.
And I'm Henny Penny.
So the game starts with this chicken news broadcast, starring Chicken Little and Henny Penny. Little known fact, Henny Penny and Chicken Little are actually the same person. It's essentially Chicken Little and runner-ups to the Revolutionary War Chicken Little.
Presenting the controversial videotape received earlier today.
From a mysterious dimension parallel to the Earth, greetings to all round, fuzzy, squishy things. I am Colonel Cubicles, leader of the Bullion. We are speaking to you now to issue an ultimatum. Free the cubes. Free the cubes, or taste our vengeance.
They got a video message from a cube thing, this guy, and they have 24 hours to free the cubes. And I have to say, the comedy is pretty good in this.
You have 24 hours.
We received this tape 23 hours and 50 minutes ago. What does it mean? Our expert joins us. Dr. Carl Cockerell, expert in crowd control and alien invasions.
Carl Cockerell, the Bullion? Should we be afraid?
We should always be afraid, Henny, whether a threat is real or not. If any stranger enters your area, remember to cluck hysterically, flap your wings, and run around in circles. We're chickens. That's what we do.
Thank you, Carl Cockerell. For News Center 12, I'm Henny Penny reminding you, if you want bread, you've got to help bake it.
But then tragedy
The
strikes.
old saying, when the cat's away, the mice will play. But what do chickens do when the farmer goes to town? Well, they have themselves a party.
Wait a minute. That's not the script.
Oh no, the baby chicks have all been captured, and it's up to Mort the chicken to save the day. According to the manual, these guys are called the Bullion Cubes, and this is a soundstage for a Saturday morning kids TV show that Mort is the host of. But I don't know, there's a lot of other, I'm assuming, hens surrounding this guy, so I'm kinda questioning what this show is about. But Mort also has to save the baby chicks because there would be no audience otherwise. Okay, seems like he's not just doing this out of the kindness of his heart then, but whatever, we're off! And also, for some reason, I've seen some stuff online that states that the chickens are the dominant species of this world in this universe. But if that's the case, why have a farmer character who clearly is running the farm?
What do chickens do when the farmer goes to town? Well, they have themselves a party.
Yep, that's the title screen.
Oh, what? Were you expecting something better than just silence and a still image? Yeah, me too.
Okay, let's just select new game, cave painting loading screen, that's pretty neat, and welcome to Block World.
This is the best game I've ever played.
Okay, so how does one play Mort the Chicken exactly? Well, these jello molds stole the baby chicks, so we have to go around and collect them. So we go around pecking and comb whipping our way to collecting all of them back. All the while, this game is also a platformer, so you have to jump around and collect coins and whatnots. You know, Block World is pretty small, but it is the first level, so it's really a nice way to introduce you to the game. The only actual hazards being falling out of bounds and this one lone cube guy at the very beginning, but he goes down in like one hit. Alright, got the baby chicks, first level is done. Here's a cutscene about the Jello dictator giving speech to the Jello people. Apparently this is an alternate dimension where these cubes rule. Honestly, I think I would believe the chickens being the dominant species part first.
Silence! I bring you horrible news. Silence! Through the miracle of fuzzy video, we, that is I, Cubicles, your leader, have learned that a number of our brethren are kept as slaves by the formless squishy things who live in the universe parallel to our own. They took our cubes.
Actually, that's just bales of hay. Methinks there's going to be a misunderstanding between the cubes and the chickens.
Silence! In retaliation, we took a number of the small squishy things, which we will keep until the cubes are released. Silence! These squishy things have sent a ruthless commando, known as Mort the Chicken, to rescue these small squishy things which we have captured. And he has met with some success.
He took 6 chickens and killed the one guy we had guarding them at least 3 times. Clearly, this chicken is the world's greatest warrior. Alright, Factory Cross, second level. So we have to go and collect the baby chicks, so we go around pecking and comb whipping our way and collecting all of them back. All the while, this game is also a platformer, so you have to jump around and collect coins and...
Wait. That's not the entire game, is it?
Okay, collect all the baby chickens. Now go back to the well. Why does the cube guys have wells that lead to different dimensions? And for that matter, why does the chickens have that on a soundstage of a kid's show? Was Sadako going to be this week's guest star?
I'm Chicken Little.
And I'm Henny Penny.
Panic and pandemonium struck a sleepy farm today as odd cube-like creatures snatched up baby chicks seemingly at random. Henny?
The number of chickens missing is still unknown. Our inability to count has hindered the effort. Mort the chicken himself, in an act of bravery or stupidity, leaped down the well after the chicks.
Why these cubes took the chicks remains a mystery. And there's an even bigger mystery. Henny?
TV's Mort the chicken. Why would the star of a children's television show leap down a well?
Very unchicken-like.
What got into him? Is he insane?
Is he a hero or in cahoots with these cubes? Joining us for this discussion is Dr. Carl Cockerell, expert in television personality analysis and appropriate barnyard behavior. Dr. Cockerell, Mort the chicken, help, hindrance, menace, hero?
Whatever else he is, Mort is a chicken. As a chicken, he is genetically hardwired for panic. By not panicking, he's betrayed his chicken nature and, by extension, us. If he's part of the problem, in other words, he's a problem, and if he's trying to solve the problem, well, he's still a problem.
So if he's helping, he's a problem, and if he's a problem, he's a problem.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, you lost me. Is he a problem?
Okay, level 3, Hollywood. Cute. So in this level, we have to go around and collect the baby chicks. So we go around pecking and comb whipping our way into collecting them back. All the while, this game is also a platformer.
And this is the entire game.
Yeah, that is honest to God, almost the entire game. Almost every level is like this. The theme is either blocks, factory, kingdom, ice world, blocks, factory, kingdom, ice world, and every objective is the same. You just gotta find all the baby chicks and bring them to the well and then move on to the next level. There are power-ups you can use, the only one that's really useful being the one where you just use the baby chicks as ballistic missiles to attack your foes, but you probably could just go through each level without even worrying about enemies.
And I know what some of the comments are going to say. Well, it's a kid's game. You can't expect it to be too difficult.
Well, I expect it to be harder than this. Kind of. Again, this is all the game has to offer. If you somehow get hit, a cube magically falls from the air into one of the baby chicks, and you have to hit them to save the chick. You know, like Yoshi's Island. Or it just goes up into the air, and then you'll find the chick in the same spot you found it earlier. And again, finding them isn't really much of a challenge because the map is small, and if you do get lost, all you have to do is press the L1 button and Mort calls for the baby chicks, and then he looks over to the directions like,
Honestly, the gameplay is nothing to write home about, but the writing is pretty good.
While I probably wouldn't say that this game made me laugh out loud the entire time, it definitely did get a chuckle or two out of me at least.
Yard is correspondent Charles Chicken. Charles?
This is Charles Chicken reporting live. I don't like being here. I'm frightened.
Don't worry, that's normal. What's the situation there?
One brave barnyard fowl is going to follow in Mort the Chicken's footsteps.
Don't make me! I don't want to go!
Chicken Cammed exclusive live coverage of the dangerous alternate dimension where our chicks are being held captive.
No, please! No!
Come on, Mort the Chicken did it.
He's insane! No!
Better him than me. Can I go home now?
Thank you, Charles Chicken. Stay tuned for more live coverage of the ongoing crisis. Until next time, remember, if you're going to flock together, make sure your feathers are similar.
And if you have eggs, always put them in more than one basket. That's a rule of thumb.
What's a thumb?
I don't know.
Mostly from the cutscenes in between the levels, since there's so little to do in the levels. Occasionally, we cut to either the news or something else, like a TV show in progress.
The greatest collection of dance hits ever made. You get Funky Chicken by the Chickadelics, Shake Your Tail Feather by Cogburn and the Coops, Got to Get My Talons on You by the artist formerly known as Rooster, Baby 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 by Baby Chick, Oh Baby Baby by Chick Baby, Baby Baby Oh Baby by Baby Baby, I Wear Funny Hats by Weird Al Chikovich, and much, much more.
I just kinda wish they did more with this idea.
Also, the loading screens all have chicken-themed art based off of some real paintings. I don't think the first one was real, but I know these ones are. Also, when I review some games like this, I like to check the cutting room floor to see if there's anything I can talk about there. This game doesn't really have any of that. Except apparently in the PAL versions of this game, the loading screens are different. Slightly. Most of them are the same. There's like a few of them on the other hand that are not, and I don't really know why they did that. Like this one, for example. Maybe they thought it wasn't age appropriate for America, but that's a very big maybe. And for some reason, the PAL version was the only one to get this painting. And this is a good painting. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of want to hang this up on my wall.
Flap and peck and flap and peck.
But yeah, there's also little to no story in the grand scheme of things. That speech from the cube leader guy? Yeah, that's the last we're going to see of him until the end. Almost all the cutscenes don't have any connection to the main story at hand. The only ones that do come from the news guys, and also Chicken Little apparently knows Mort and gives us Mort's backstory.
TV star and dear friend.
You and Mort go quite a ways back, don't you, Chicken?
Oh yes, Henny. Gosh, you know it feels like yesterday when we first met. Here at the scene of NASA Propulsion Laboratory, where the ever-so-publicized rocket sled is about to be tested. Joining me live is the test pilot. They call him Mortimer Chicken. Even though you're terrified, Mortimer, you're a better chicken than me. You wouldn't catch me in a rocket sled going 500 miles an hour. Way down. 3, 2, 1, blast off! And there it goes, over 500 miles per hour with the world's bravest chicken at the helm. The force is incredible. Let me tell you, most chickens would be stone cold dead after a ride like that. What a ride. Baby Mort felt so lucky to be alive that nothing scares him anymore. He'll probably be dead soon, but until then, we'll admire him.
And that's it, not just for Mort's backstory, but for all the world building in this game. Again, it's not that big of a deal considering what kind of game this is. But again, I kind of wish they just did more with it. And it's good that I want to learn more about it. It's just bad that there's nothing else to learn about it.
Okay, finish this level. This is starting to drag a little bit, but let's see what's next.
Huh. Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it just drops you into a boss battle. No warning, no cutscenes, not even an introduction. So we run towards the camera in a chase sequence against Mr. Blockman himself, smacking these light blue cubes he throws at us so that they will bounce off the TV screen, which I think is kind of cute, to hit him back with them. That's it. There's no different phases or variations to his attacks unless you count him throwing red and darker blue blocks at you that you can't bounce back. He'll even slow down a bit for you. What a nice guy.
So, Doctor, what part of the chicken does the nugget come from, exactly?
Okay, was not expecting that.
So here's the actual final boss. Cube Face. I don't even know what to say at this point. We're on a roulette table, there's some dice we gotta knock around, and there's a cube with different faces on it. Your guess is as good as mine. Maybe this was the president of Hungary's idea, I don't know.
Be on the lookout for this duck. He is presumed winged, and very dangerous.
All you do is run around and smack the dice back at him until he explodes. That's it. We don't even confront Cubicles either. In fact, I don't think this whole dispute lasted more than an hour.
I'm Parallelogram, and this is the news. Our long nightmare is finally over. At this hour, the war between the cubes and the soft, squishy things has ended in peace. And it turns out it was all based on a simple misunderstanding. We thought the soft, squishy things, which we now know are called chickens, had kidnapped cubes from our world. But we've now learned that these cubes are not cubes at all. Well, they are cubes, but they're not cubes, if you know what I mean. They're food for a larger squishy thing with split hooves called a cow. I don't pretend to understand it. All I know is the danger is over.
Silence! Oh, okay, you weren't talking. It is I, Cubicles. We have engaged in a great war with the soft, squishy things we know as chickens. I believed that these chickens had imprisoned certain of our kind. This was my bad. Funny story, these were not real living cubes, but stacks of food that looked like cubes. Like tofu or marshmallows. They are called hay bales or haystacks. They are inanimate, not alive at all. They are eaten by cows, a larger, soft, squishy thing. So, I almost got us all killed for nothing. Joke's on us. Sorry about that.
I would like to call this an official oopsie whoopsie. I made a fucky wucky.
Silence? Well, okay then, but we could have been in danger. If we had been in danger... Oh, never mind, I am so out of here.
And now we get this musical video
Is
slash
Mort,
trailer of the game.
chicken, any less a chicken for being a hero? Maybe it's okay to be brave.
God, that was so worth committing cube genocide. It looks like this is early footage as well, because... What? That guy did not look like that. Are those overalls? What the fuck?
You mean to tell me you've been naked all these years?
And it kind of looks like they were trying to make this game look way better than it did, which is kind of sad.
He saved our chicks. Perhaps even saved the whole world.
Thanks, Mort.
And a very long credit sequence with additional audio stuff, like this comedy routine.
How do chickens dance? Chick to chick. Which dance will a chicken not do? The foxtrot. Why did the Roman chicken cross the road? Because she was afraid someone would seize her. Why did the unwashed chicken cross the road twice? Because he was a dirty double-crosser. What do you call a joke book for chickens? A yoke book. Why did the rooster cross the road? To cock-a-doodle-doo something. Ooh, man. That one's really bad. Why does a rooster watch TV? For hentertainment.
Be careful with that last verse.
Which brings us to the end of the review, and to be honest, I went in thinking there was going to be a whole lot more to talk about.
This game isn't bad. It's an enjoyable hour to an hour and a half long game, which, with what they did, it was more than passable. But less like a C is passable and more like a D plus is passable. The gameplay, yeah, it isn't great, but it's not terrible, it works. Kind of, I wish the camera was a little bit better, but most PS1 games at the time had bad cameras, and there isn't really a difficulty considering all the enemies are the same, and it's the same objective every level. I don't know what the exact number this game was priced at the beginning, but from what I gathered, PS1 games were around $50, lowering to about $40 to compete with the N64 and the Dreamcast, which might not have been all the games, but let's just assume Mort the Chicken was $40 because it came out around that time. So, with today's inflation, that would be $72? Are you fucking mad?
Fortunately, you can get this game nowadays for like $10, or free if you just emulated it. And for $10, this is a pretty fun time. And hey, PlayStation should honestly just make this free on PlayStation Plus. What I find sad about this is if it had more of like an open world aspect with characters you can talk and interact with, like Conker or Banjo-Kazooie, this game probably would have been like 10 times better. And the actual sad part is the sequel probably was going to be like that.
Sadly, it doesn't really look like it went past the even before the initial stages of development stage, but for what very little information that's gathered, it looks like it was going to be exactly like Mario 64 and Banjo. Plus, if it was going to be on the PS2, this could have been a really great sequel.
But Mort the Chicken did not only appear in this game. He actually has a cameo in another game. Very recently, actually. A indie game called Pizza Tower.
Yeah, I was blindsided when I found out that Mort had a guest appearance in this game, for like little to no reason. I mean, he's not essential to the plot, I'm pretty sure he's only in this one level, but the creator of Pizza Tower actually got permission from Ed to do this, which is great. Maybe that means Mort's eventually going to make a comeback. You know, like a certain bobcat that should have stayed dead and buried.
But we're just going to have to wait and see if that happens. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This did come out a lot shorter than I originally thought, but considering that my last video was over an hour long, I think I probably could have used the break a little. And again, I did think I was going to be able to talk about the game more, but either way, I do hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, please don't forget to like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It'll let you know when new videos come out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, you take care.
Well, looks like things in the old farm are finally back to normal. Chickens are clucking, the hoedown's commencing, and Mort the chicken, yeah, well, he's still on the lookout. It's safe. Thanks to Mort the chicken, things are gonna stay that way.
Until Farmer Brown got home and he cooked Mort for dinner. That's good eating.